And with all the grace of a drowning penguin,
Look up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
it's Shaft!
Hey guys, I am Shaft of the coLqxc crew, and welcome to the Meat Grinder Show matches. The matches have not even got started yet, and it's already been an interesting event. But before I get started in those details, let me introduce my co-caster, the only bird of prey I trust for my heels. It's Falcon Paladin!
Hey, thanks for that intro. I am super excited to be casting this event, and it's going to be a really good TVZ and a best of 7, and I cannot wait to get started.
Indeed. So, anyone who's coming onto the stream right now is going to be going, what the heck? Especially once the game starts, because this has been billed so many different ways. First, it was going to be Petraeus versus Major. Then it was going to be, yes, Petraeus versus Major. Then we had Major have to pull out due to the WCS groups, so we replaced Major with coLqxc. Petraeus' WCS group is still going on, so we've had to replace him as well. So we've got an entirely different event for you guys, but we have gone to extreme pains to make sure that this is a worthwhile cast event for you guys. So we're going to be getting pretty much right on into it. Just so you know, it is a best of 7 format. Because these players are both North American players, we're not going to be having to use server switch rules. So basically, we've set up a default map. We thought Coda Ladder Edition, the best Zerg vs. Terran, most balanced map to be playing on. So that's where we're going to start it. Loser picks from here. Guys, the rules are not complicated. Let's get it on. Well, yes sir, let's get it started. We're getting the go-go from the players, and we will be getting started. Just so you guys know, big shout out to Coulter, who is our observer streamer this evening. Javier Coulter, the best observer North America has. We're just waiting on a response from coLqxc. There it is! Go, 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 go! Okay, so are we still
Question is a sin. Is there no remedy for the state that we are in? With knowledge on a leash, it's like a terminal disease, and we won't be awake to see that we are fake out.
Alright, so welcome to the Meat Grinder. We are in our first game on Coda Ladder Edition. Here on the top left-hand side of this map, it's our pretty purple Terran, representing Team Complexity, Kevin coLqxc Riley.
And in the bottom right of the map, we have the Teal Zerg player, T. Swizzle, also known as Warren.
Yeah, he changes his name a lot. Well,
so
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right, well, I do want to give a big shout out to our sponsors before this game gets too exciting. Our sponsors this evening, giving our $100 prize pool, 75 to the winner, 25 to the loser, because everyone wins that way. Our sponsor for the evening, none other than Zealous Web. Big shout out to them. You can see their logo in the bottom. They are a fundamentally amazing web design group. They do file hosting, web design. If you need a website, they're the guys to go talk to. Whatever you need, they got it.
All right, so as the match gets underway here, it looks like our friend Warren, the Zerg player, is going for, I assume, a 15 hatch, which is pretty standard against Terran. Although I have been seeing a few professional Zergs going, 14 extractor, 14 pull, and then putting down their hatch. And I just wondering what your thoughts are on that.
I love that build actually, especially on this map because of the location I just pinged. That location makes this a great Mass Reaper build map, and QXE is really known for mixing his cheese up a little bit. So he could do something all-in-ish like that, really make this an interesting game. So going for that early pull, which we're not seeing here, I'm going to wrap this up. It gets you the Mutalisks out faster. And everything that Terran produces in these Reaper expand builds, Hellbats, Hellions, Reapers, Banshees, none of that shoots up. So it's a good build. But either way, we're not seeing it. Let's not worry about it. What do you think? Is this going to go into a macro game? Like, this map, very easy to get 4 base against 4 base.
It is. It's pretty easy to defend all of your bases as Zerg and Terran just because there's a central location that I'm going to try to ping here. That there's a bottom of the ramp from your natural, leads up to your third, leads up to your fourth, so you just kind of sit your army there and you can defend against pretty much anything that comes your way.
Indeed, we've got a scout going on for QXC. Is he? Oh man, he tried to hide that a little bit. The drone coming down to scout a little bit. I think QXC might be trying to place a bunker somewhere, because he totally just yoinked that SCV as soon as possible.
He did. He had some mischief on his mind there, but did get scattered out, and so decided to head on back home. No harm done, no foul. Here comes the Reaper heading right up into the main of Warren. We'll have to see how he defends against this, as the Queen is not even halfway ready yet.
Queen's not halfway ready, but he does have 6 lings on the way. He's just got to be careful not to lose any drones, and he's going... Oh, he attacked his own drone, but he's going to save it with a Spore Crawler, and being very careful not to move off of the creep spread. The creep spread is really the defining characteristic for the Zerg here. He can win on the creep spread because the Reaper cannot kite there. Oh, he pulled back a little bit too soon and loses a Zergling. Going to lose another Zergling. 2 more on the way, though. He has not yet lost a drone. This is some excellent micro. He has, however, lost 1 larva count of Ling, so that's essentially 1 drone as well. He's going to lose another Ling, but the Queen is out, and we got to cancel on that extractor. And there's 1 on the Spore Crawler as well.
Yeah, just fantastic micro there by Warren. I was worried about him when that Reaper first showed up, but losing only 2 Zerglings is a pretty fantastic defense, considering how excellent QXC is with those Reapers. And the expand is going down for QXC very, very safely, which is pretty much the point of this entire build.
Yeah, and I would like to comment on something real quick. QXC is the creator of a map called So You Think You Can Micro. The fact that Warren can even keep up with him is ridiculous.
It is, and he managed to save that drone at the last second there at the natural, pulling up that extractor, canceling it because he doesn't need it. He's lost 0 drones to this Reaper Harass, which I think I would crumble in this situation, but Warren is really playing very, very well.
Well, let's take a look at what's going on in the base of QXC. He has, he is establishing a 2nd orbital command now, and he's getting that starport. Now, he was known way, way back in the day for his Banshee play. Banshees are the current meta. You know QXC's got something tricky up his sleeve. There it is. Tech Lab going down. Is he going to go for the invisibility, or is it just going to be for the Banshee itself? Either way, we have Warren trying to scout into that base. He only saw the factory, though. He has no idea about the Banshee. He could probably assume, especially with his other Overlord being sniped out, that clearly indicates QXC has something to hide. But what could it be?
He'll have to try to find out a little bit later, because there is some pressure at his front door, or there was. Actually, QXC is pulling the Hellions and the Reaper back. For what purpose, I'm not entirely sure, but it looks like he got scared away by just a couple queens here, a few Zerglings. Probably didn't want to lose them as he went in, and decided to head back home for some base defense.
Yeah, he wants to hold on to his units. Both players actually in a position where they want to hold on to their units, because QXC is hitting a timing attack. That is pretty clear. Hellions, Reapers, Banshees, those are all going to melt anything the Zerg could be throwing at him in the mid-game. Whereas whereas Warren is going to want to just hold on to his larva count so that he doesn't have to continue making army once his 3rd completes. He wants to make drones.
He does, and there's a Zergling counterattack / run-by that is about to hit the natural here for QXC. Actually, no. Well, no, he does. Warren does turn them around now, going to try to get through this wall, but it is actually tight with the supply depots and with the bunkers, and now the attack is in earnest here at the 3rd hatchery for Warren. It does not look good for this to be able to finish.
Well, Hellions aren't going to finish a building. You'd think with, them spitting fire, it being a building, it burnt. No, it doesn't really work like that in StarCraft. These Lings, they mostly want a perfect position, and they're going to be able to clean this up. He is trying to make it so that QXE loses all of this, and this is all of QXE's map control. If this dies, that is essentially going to give Swizzle the ability to drone up entirely, but it looks like QXE is going to manage to get 4 of those Hellions out, just enough to stop Swizzle from dominating the map control.
There are 2 Banshees also sitting up here at the potential 4th base for the Zerg player. They are kind of heading around, scouting around. Not quite interested in going into the base yet. They're going to meet up with these Hellions, though, and chase these Zerglings right away.
Well, I like how he's using these Banshees to limit the creep tumors. He's okay with whatever creep tumors are down already. Oh, never mind. He scans those bad boys. But he's totally cutting out the creep spread. If you kill the creep spread between the natural and the 3rd base, that 3rd base is going to be nigh impossible to defend.
And here come the Hellions right on up, taking down that Spinecrawler, taking down the Queens. The Banshee's doing terrible, terrible damage. The first couple Mutalisks are out. Is this enough Mutas to take this down is the question, and it looks like it might very well be.
Yes, David Kim, I think it might be. That terrible, terrible damage, my friend.
And the Hellions trying to escape. Mutalisks are very, very fast, and it looks like every one of these Hellions is going to die, cleaned up by the remainder of those Zerglings, and a pretty good hold there, I would say, from Warren, considering where he was about 10 seconds ago.
Indeed. Okay, so we got 6 turrets being in production right now, and it looks like we're having a little bit of issues with the microphone. If you'll just let us know which player it is. Okay, alright. So, anyways, we got missile turrets going down. Oh my god, there's a Thor.
Sorry, I was going to say, that turret, the SCV building, it got sniped down with like 1 hit point left on that turret. So excellent, excellent Mutalisk play there by Warren, coming right on in, being very annoying with these Mutalisks, and QXC is going to have to do something to respond to this, and it looks like it is going to be at least 1 Thor, and yes, 1 in production on that factory. 2 actually being produced right now.
Alright, well, it looks like Warren is choosing to target down a lot of the add-ons here. Now, the reason for targeting add-ons is it's going to cripple the production of the Terran. Add-ons take the longest to build for their HP.
And Zerglings and Banelings flooding in the front door as well. They'll be very, very useful trying to take down this Thor. Here come the repairing SCVs chasing away the Zerg army, but the Zerglings move on into the natural, going to kill a whole lot of SCVs here. They're going to go down quickly while the Mutalisks come in to support as well.
Okay, so we've got some good repairs going down on the Thors, but the Lings still doing a lot of damage. Let's take a look at the total amount of damage done. We've got 14 SCVs killed, 11 drones though, so both players playing very scrappily here.
They are. It is now 63 Harvesters to 47 in favor of the Zerg player, which is where you want to be. You're basically 3 base to 2 base Terran, and Warren has to be feeling pretty comfortable about himself right now, I'd have to say.
Honestly, in the position of Warren right now, I would really want to be getting a 4th base, maybe not droning it, but his production is going to start skyrocketing. You can already see he's starting to bank up a lot of resources here, and that's not due to a lack of good micro or good macro. His energy on these queens, pretty low. It's all due to the fact that he's got such a good economy. He needs the production to match it.
Absolutely true. And Macro Hatch would be good. Or yes, he has actually taken that 4th base along the left side at this point. Also getting a Roach Warren and an Infestation Pit. So we'll probably see Vipers, we're going to see Roaches, and a pretty interesting mid-game is about to start.
Well, we've got the 3rd base now floating over for QXE. The Thors are in a position here between the natural and the 3rd. The missile turret's going down. He's essentially just trying to cut off any kind of harassment to the 3rd base. That Overlord going down. Ooh, beautiful corpse. But the 3rd base going to be a little bit delayed by the creep spread. One other thing that Warren could do is go ahead and burrow Zerglings underneath that creep and be twice as annoying.
That is super annoying. I haven't played very much Terran, to be honest, but when I have, there is a burrowed Zergling underneath every single place I want to land my command center, and it just makes me rage. So we have a scan going down at the 3rd base here. It looks like QXC did catch sight of the Evolution Chambers, upgrading the ranged attack for the ground units, as well as Carapace for those ground units. Excellent choices going up against what we're likely to see from QXC, which is going to be a bunch of mech. And we'll have to see what the decisions are going to be in response to these Banshees, to these tanks, to these Thors, a build that has been so difficult for so many Zerg players in the latest patch to handle.
Let's be honest, all things Zerg, there's like 3 threads about this a day.
Yes. People come desperate for help in those threads, and the answers honestly are few and far between, but we'll see what Warren can do.
Well,
that's why we play those matches. There's nothing for certain in the game of StarCraft.
That is very true, but we could take a look at the composition of QXC and see what the best option would be. He has 3 tanks, roaches, that's what he's going to need. The best way to deal with mech is to alternately mass produce Mutalisks, which he's already done, which forces a large amount of Thors at the expense of siege tanks. At this point, because there are so few siege tanks on the field, roaches are going to clean up the tanks. And actually, QXC knows this, so he's trying to preempt that tech switch, which he's already seeing. 11 roaches in production, there's already a good number on the field, so it's going to become a back and forth in the production capacity of these two players. And this is where Zerg shines, because it doesn't matter if we have a tech lab on our factory or not. Just doesn't. We can mass produce as long as we have a hatchery and preferably a queen. We can make whatever we want.
And that's always been the strength of the Zerg, is the tech switching. So his ability to see and scout out exactly what QXC is doing at any given moment and then produce the units to counter that, or at least give himself the best chance of winning a battle, is what he's going to need to do. He does have pretty good Overlord spread. He has guys poop and creep pretty much on most of the bases here across the map, with the exception of 2 along the left side. So he should be able to see what's moving out from QXC before he gets anywhere near his bases and produce units accordingly.
Yeah, indeed. QXC is transitioning in what's known as the park and play style. He basically is just going to build planetary fortresses everywhere, missile turrets everywhere, and park on as many bases as he can hold. In order to stop that, Warren is spitting creep on all the bases, so even if QXC goes to take it, he'll at least know about it. Anyway, we've got a push going on here if you want to take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Right up the center of the map here, we do have QXC pushing on in. Actually does manage to take down the 5th base, I guess, officially, of our Zerg player. Moving on down with these Hellbats, with these Thors, Banshees, tanks. What's the response going to be? There are a bunch of roaches. There are Vipers. There's a queen up here. 2 queens actually trying to distract the army. The roaches come in with the flank. We do have Corruptors as well, trying to take down those Banshees. Good number of Corruptors actually going to snipe down every single one of those Banshees unless they retreat. Good Blinding Cloud going down on these units. The Thors are dying. The roaches cleaning everything up. Tanks on the high ground, however, doing a bunch of trouble to these Zerg units. Another Thor dies. Want to go up the ramp? Yes, the roaches do go up the ramp. Take down 1 tank, 2 tanks, 3 tanks, and then the retreat, as there is still a Banshee that does get cleaned up. 1 final siege tank is left over from that army for QXC and a couple of Hellbats. So I am actually fairly impressed. Warren held that very, very well. He did lose a bunch of units, but again, he did manage to stop the push from QXC. He has to be very happy about that. And at the same time, there is a burrowed Zergling under the potential 4th base for QXC. He hasn't noticed it yet, but I think he will eventually.
Warren actually sitting on
very annoyed.
Warren actually sitting on a 29 supply lead as far as the army count is concerned. And this is going to transition really well for him. He can quickly max out. He's far closer to it than QXC. And then just go ahead and throw this supply-heavy army in the form of roaches at his opponent. Get some very efficient trades out of this. One downside...
I was going to say, we have Broodlords in the air for Warren. I didn't see those being produced. They're actually up there with the Vipers here at the 3rd base. And we're going to move out with these Broodlords and try to put some pressure on QXC.
What he wants to do is park those Broodlords in the middle of the map and defend his flanks with Lings, Spine Crawlers, Spore Crawlers. Those Broodlords, not the greatest for defense because they're never going to make it there in time. Those are strictly offensive units.
Fair enough. So here we go. Bit of a Sky Zerg army moving out with some roaches supplementing the ground here. And yeah, I mean, the number of bases that Warren has, his income tab looks amazing with 72 harvesters. He is, man, even against this mech, we'll have to see what he manages to do. Small group of Hellions actually coming along the left side, bottom corner base here. They do have a few kills, 1, 2, 3, 2, 0. Looks like they didn't get too many workers, and they do all get cleaned up. The response is pretty good there from Warren, but we are moving up the front here with these tanks, with these Thors, right to the Zelnaga Watchtower, and that might be where QXC decides to start his push.
I think that's exactly where he's going to start this push. It basically splits the production of the Zerg in half, where part of the Zerg army is going to be coming from the right side, the other part's going to be the left side, and this could be bad for QXE, but in this particular situation, with the Broodlords on the map, that's going to be very, very good. But Warren choosing to just go ahead and attack this fourth base of QXE, and he looks like he's going to take it, but at the expense of his own natural, and some reinforcements trying to delay some time here for Swizzle, but it's not looking very good, and this planetary fortress getting melted here by the Broodlords.
Yeah, Broodlords, Roaches, everybody trying to focus this planetary fortress down. Eventually it is going to fall here, but there is a couple of fewer pairing SCVs alive. But in the end it does fall, but yes, you said at the expense of his natural, and these guys are moving up into the main of Warren. What's he going to do to try to handle this?
Honestly, he just needs to start a base race. He has got a little bit more minerals than his opponent, so he could throw down a couple extra hatcheries in unexpected locations and try to continue flooding out units as well. He does not want to produce from these bases, though, because these are just melting and bleeding the units.
And that's pretty much what the intent of mech is to be cost effective, to destroy what they can, and survive long enough to make things very difficult for the Zerg player. But Roaches are moving up into the natural of QXC. The Roaches are 3-3, taking down a bunker. There's a Roach to respond. I'm sorry, a Thor rather. 2 Thors to respond. And a tank actually coming up on the high ground as well. That might spell the doom of these Roaches if they can't get away from the range of that tank in time. And they do get the Thor getting up in range of that tank. And yes, good micro here from Warren. Gets the tank on the high ground. So, well, excellent move there by Warren. He doesn't have many Roaches in the base of QXC, but it's enough to be very annoying at this point to slow down the production flow across the map for QXC, although we have a lot of Vikings in the air now in response to those Broodlords.
Here on the bottom right-hand side of the map, we got the Broodlords going ahead and engaging the leftovers army of QXC. It looks like he's going to go ahead and melt through this. The Thors, only 2 Thors left. The tanks are getting melted here by the Broodlings, and the Roaches are here to clean up the Thors as well. And here are the Vikings getting picked off here by the Corruptors. It looks like Warren might have done this. He has got the superior upgrades. He's on the 3-3 ranged upgrade with the Carapace and plus 2 armor for his flying units.
And those Mutalisks from earlier in the game are actually in the main of QXC, taking down his armory. Try to snipe down these tanks. If he sees them, he could actually get rid of those as well. So just making use of all of his units in many different areas, being so annoying, and just really at this point in a very substantially solid place against QXC.
So what are your thoughts on base racing versus Terran?
Don't do it, ever.
Yeah. I guess Warren just spat in the face of that logic, eh?
He did. He lost those 2 bases and said, I could take out that mech army whenever I want. I still have 2 mining bases. That's better than 0. And in the end, I think it might have paid off for him. This is crazy.
Yeah, tech? Who needs tech?
I just need hatcheries, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, Broodlords, you know what? We might have to go to those All Things Zerg subreddit posts and say, you know what? Go Broodlords against mech.
Well,
it might be just what you need.
Actually, I wrote an article when Wings of Liberty was transitioning into Heart of the Swarm that basically talked about how Swarm hosts were going to be the new Broodlords. And I was even talking about it from a defensive position, which is what Swarm hosts came to be. Everyone said I was crazy, but honestly, what was broken in Wings of Liberty? Broodlord Infestor. What was broken in Heart of the Swarm? Swarm hosts. It's the fact that Zerg are getting the ability to siege locations. And why is mech difficult? Because it holds locations so cost effectively. So in fact, it's the perfect tool for the job, just we all forgot about it because Swarm host.
Yeah, very, very true. The other thing that kind of makes Swarm hosts and Broodlords broken, in a lot of people's opinion, is the kind of the free unit concept.
Yeah.
That they can sit back and range attack with these free Broodlings and free Locusts and pretty much not lose anything if you're careful with it, which has been very annoying for a lot of people.
Yeah, it would need an energy cost. I think that would really balance that out a little bit more.
Whoa, all the mules in the world being dropped at the 4th base for QXC.
Oh my god, look at that income tab, dude. QXC over 2,000 minerals is
2,500,
3,000! Power level over 3,000.
And as both players are fairly mineral starved right here, that is going to be a huge boost to QXC, who's a little bit on his back foot. Although pushing out with these Vikings, he doesn't have much on the ground to really slow down the Zerg player, but holy cow. He has enough minerals to do whatever he wants at this point. And it looks like what he wants to do is Vikings. I mean, he is making Vikings out of his starports. He is producing a few tanks, but man, it's a pretty much mass Viking right here, which is interesting.
It's very interesting, dude. This is becoming a battle for sky dominance. And honestly, QXC really ringing up the minerals. Those mules paying off. Warren, we might have given him the victory a little bit too soon. QXC, ever the gentleman child, he is not giving up.
No, he is not. He still has 35 harvesters to 37 for the Zerg player, which means that he is on equal footing economically. He still has mining bases. He's got 2 mining bases, pretty much to the 3 of the Zerg player right now, which is fine by him, I have to imagine. And he's just setting up to defend this base with everything that he's got. He says, no broodlords are coming in here. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 Vikings in the air with +3 attack.
Dude, this game is turning epic, and it looks like it's going to go right back into the macro mode that we saw before those crazy trade-off, that crazy base race. Both players sitting around 40 workers, but QXC's got 50 more army supply.
He does. A lot of those, again, in Vikings, which aren't so great at ending the game in my experience, but they are going to pretty much push these broodlords away until they can get some anti-air to defend against that.
Dude.
And there are Vikings out for Warren. They are +3 I'm sorry, did I say Vikings? I meant Hydras out for Warren. So they are, Hydras do really well against Vikings. It's just a matter of positioning. If the tanks get in there, if the Hellions roast them up, we'll have to see what positioning is going to be favorable for Warren as the army is moving on up into the space along the left side.
Well, I'm loving the fact that the Vikings are coming out at this point, and Warren just is caught pants down. He does not have the ability to make infestors, and he's lost his broodlords.
Yep, every single broodlord has gone down. There's a small, actually a fairly large group of Hydralisks moving on up here with a roach. The tanks, oh man, if they'd been sieged up, that could have been bad news, but they're going to retreat. QXC, being happy and destroying that base, decides to pull back to a more defensive position on top of this ramp and dare Warren to come after him.
Run away, the drones attack.
Yeah. We have 2 Hellbats kind of harassing the, I guess we're going to call it the 4th base of Warren along the right side there with their blue flame, trying to take down this hatchery. It will take a very long time, and I don't think it's going to happen for him, but he is distracting the army.
So I'm just looking around the map real quick. All of the bases right now for QXC are mined out, or in the process of being mined out. If Swizzle can hold on and just whittle away this army, he's got a much healthier mineral count in the bases he owns.
He does, and that could be a pretty valid strategy, is just starve out the Terran player, kill his pushes as they come, but just pretty much dwindle down that army to nothing and wait for the GG. Yeah,
he needs to win based on defender's advantage, but he looks like he's moving out for the offensive. He doesn't yet realize that he has the advantage.
Oh yeah, and that army supply, oh boy. It is looking really scary from QXC. Moving right across that Zelnaga watchtower, going to take down this base with nobody mining at it, actually, and probably move on to take out what other tech structures he can find.
Yeah, well, there's still a base here in the bottom left, and he's still actually mining from, I guess this was his 3rd? I'm not sure at this point.
Yeah, officially I think it was his 3rd.
Yeah, but anyways, that 3rd looks like it might be falling as well as the 4th. I think Warren might have finally lost it, unless he can pull out a crazy QXC move like QXC.
Yeah, I don't want to call anything too early here. We do have some Hydras and Roaches coming to try to take down this base, and Warren calls the GG and leaves it, saying, I feel like I threw it. I don't know if I can agree with that. QXC is such a great player. He was on the back foot, but I don't think Warren made any huge mistakes in losing that game. What are your thoughts?
Well, he was a little too aggressive. Once the base trade occurred, he tried to continue the aggression, whereas he should have sat back and consolidated his forces with spine crawlers, maybe getting the over 200 max. I actually agree with him. He threw it away.
Okay, well, that's got to give him some confidence going into Game 2 here, though.
Yeah, because if you threw it away, it's on you to lose it, right?
Yes, which means he says, okay, I do the same thing next game, don't make the mistakes that I made, and I can come out with a victory in Game 2.
Indeed, so this means it's going to be Warren's choice of map. What map do you think he's going to want?
It looks, it looks like he said Expedition Lost is where we're going to go with it. So not much time to speculate.
Well, I feel like he probably knew he was losing. Let's face it, it was a 100 supply difference for a very long time. He had to know he'd lost that game.
Yes.
So he probably figured out what map he wanted and then said GG. let's. So he had plenty of time to think about it. Let's try to get in his brain. Why does he want this map?
Just for the size, I mean, I don't know. It can be good against mech armies with mobile armies for the Zerg forces to kind of go around. There are more paths to get out and do some more harassment that way while the slow mech army is making its push. But otherwise, I can't think of any very specific reasons. What are your thoughts?
Sorry, I'm responding in chat. People are asking what happened with the QXE Petraeus thing. Basically, WCS went long. Petraeus was not going to make it on time, so the show must go on, right, guys?
Absolutely true. We did pull in a very excellent Zerg player, as I hope what you saw in that first game is that Warren, also known as Sizzwizzle here, can hold his own against one of the best Terrans out there.
Indeed, dude. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it looks like we have people in the channel. QXC says, give me a minute.
Okay.
Also, Swizzle says, just a second. So we have some time to chat here and clear the air if we need to.
Yeah, I'm just responding to some people's whispers asking me about, you know, what the URL is, because a lot of people apparently are getting the word out there. So, guys, if you like, you know, this cast, I know it's not exactly the cast that was advertised, and my apologies, I did my best, I swear. But, you know, tell your friends. We're trying to make this the best event possible. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Give us your feedback. You can see the live chat bar right here. We are definitely paying attention to what you have to say, and we hope you are too. So, let us know your thoughts, guys. And tweet this out. The hashtag is CECC. That's the Clinic Casting Crew. And you can tweet at me. I am at the Only Shaft Falcon Paladin. What's your handle?
It's at Falcon Paladin. Pretty easy.
Indeed.
Okay, it looks like we have Swizzle ready, and QXC just popped in and said he's ready as well. Let's get on to game 2. Not yet. It looks like we actually do need a minute here. And the countdown has begun going into Game 2 on Expedition Lost, the latter edition.
All right. Ram, who is handling our chat channel at this point, guys, if you have any issues, let Grim know. He will get the information to us. I know